We're gonna dive right in. The agenda is the agenda is simple. Um, I am gonna I'm gonna have Alex do most of the talking because Halo PSA is a really cool and complex product. And if I'm being honest, alternative payments is a really simple product. I don't need to talk a whole lot to show you how our stuff works. And his stuff is arguably probably more cooler for you guys than cash flow. So, Alex, would you like to just dive right in?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to, Steve. Cool. Yeah. So thanks everyone. Thanks for joining today, taking the time out of your day to let me talk at you for an hour. I guess just to introduce myself a little bit. So I'm Alex. I've been at Halo for nearly 3 years now. So my background is mainly in the consultancy team. So assisting with the onboarding of new customers onto Halo PSA. I do recognize a few familiar names here, so shout out to Joe from Arc IT. I see you joined today.
Awesome.
Um, and yeah, that was my background from the consultancy team, moving into more of a product focused role over the last year or so, so scoping out new features and integrations for the products. But still working with some of the largest MSPs globally to help them on board onto the Halo platform.
Now, Alex, today we're talking about quote to cash. Uh, and I know we're going to talk about 5 ways AI accelerates quote to cash collection, but like what I think quote to cash seems like a relatively simple concept, but did you want to explain what your meaning of quote to cash is?
Yeah, absolutely. So Halo is kind of a full PSA product. So we have functionality for the service desk, for projects, asset management, all of these kind of things. What we've developed a few years ago and we've been working on increasingly recently is the sales process,
Mhm.
and that feeding into kind of the billing functionality that we have within the Halo system as well. So when I'm talking about quote to cash, I'm talking about a fully integrated process from the first outreach from the customer, working with them during the opportunity process, generating proposals, sending them out, receiving feedback and generating SOWs, all the way through into the billing component, and then in turn to receiving payments, which you guys at Alternative Payments help us out with. So yeah, that's kind of my definition of quote to cash. What I wanted to talk about in particular today is some of the existing functionality that we had and also some new features that we've added in terms of several AI components that can really speed along that process and make sure that we're getting from proposal to cash flow in the most expedited way.
That's perfect. So I've got a couple of polls I'm gonna launch. One of them I'm gonna launch right now. And I'm just curious, like, what is your current quote to cash timeline for those of you that are in attendance? I know some of you are already using Halo PSA. Fantastic. Um, how long does it take you from I'm creating a quote to I've got the money? That's I think what we're asking here. Um, and for those of you that think that time is too long, I think we've got some solutions for you today. I see quite a few people have said 1+ month. Quite a few people have said 2 to 4 weeks. Even a bunch 1 to 2 weeks. Very few have answered with 1 to 7 days. So the folks that are doing 1 to 7 days, I'd say you're in the pocket. There may be ways to improve or little things you can do, but you might already be doing a lot of the things we're going to talk about today. For those of you that are doing 1+ month or even 2 to 4 weeks, I think we're going to have some great ideas to help you speed everything up. So, uh, Alex, take it away, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you, Steve. Cool. So, like I mentioned, I wanted to talk about some pieces of AI functionality that we've added in the last year or so, and also kind of in a broader sense, the sales and CRM module within Halo, all the way through to project delivery and eventually billing and payments. So like I mentioned, my background is on the consultancy team. So I have quite a lot of experience helping customers implement the CRM module within Halo and advising on uh, not only what fits in best with their current processes and practices, but also what is best practice with Halo based on my experience with other MSPs. So the two AI components that I'm going to demonstrate for you today were actually implemented off of the back of projects that I worked with directly, based on real world customer challenges. And hopefully I can demonstrate to you how we've overcome those challenges and help these customers to expedite their quote to cash processes as much as possible. Um, so I did, for those who maybe aren't fully aware of Halo, I did want to give you a bit of a background about the company and the product. So Halo was founded 30 years ago in a bedroom up in Scotland by our CEO and his co-founder. Our CEO is still very hands-on in the company, and Halo is still 100% privately owned. We actually write that into our contracts that we are committed to no mergers and no acquisitions in the next 10 years. And that is the case for all new contracts that we sign. So that is a rolling commitment that we have to our customers.
Which is incredible, by the way.
Yeah, it's reassuring for everyone involved, I feel. The reason why I wanted to mention that is this has allowed us to form a very long-term and product-focused approach. We kind of have an overall philosophy that we refer to internally as the Halo way. And what that means is that our development is 100% customer-led. So we interact very heavily with our customers. Some of you might be active on Reddit or on our ideas portal. The vast majority of the development releases that we do have come from direct involvement with our customers. Has come from their feedback and is therefore tailored for real world scenarios. And we also, part of that Halo Way philosophy is also that we will not charge any extra for any of the modules or integrations that you might see me demonstrate today. So all of our integrations, and at last count, I think there was over 250 of those. All of our modules, CRM, ticketing, projects, billing is all included in the package. The price you see advertised on our website is the price that you pay, and you get all of that out of that single price. Cool. So, not to delay any further, I guess I'll actually show you the products. So where I wanted to start, and the first key point that I wanted to hit in terms of how Halo can improve your quote to cash process is what I mentioned earlier with the fully integrated BSA system. So what I mean by that is that your service desk, your project management team, your sales team, and your finance team will all be working out the same platform. And this gives us two key benefits based on my experience. So the first one is fully integrated reporting. So we can pull data from all of these various departments. We have a quite intuitive reporting suite and dashboard builder, which will allow you to build your own customized reports and dashboards. And we also have thousands of stock reports that are available out of the box as well. So to show you a bit of what that looks like, I've got literally on my home screen here, a dashboard showing statistics from the service desk. So I've got the amount of tickets I've got open, the feedback on those tickets. I've even got a support leaderboard down here for those who want to encourage maybe a more competitive service desk for their teams. But how this relates into the main topic of the conversation today is that we also have the same reporting capabilities across all departments. So by going to my sales home screen dashboard, I'm now reporting on my sales pipelines. I'm reporting on those products and services that have the top revenue. I can see my most and least customers. And I can also draw in on on costs coming from the service side in terms of hours logged, cost per hour, things like that. So if I go into the dashboards again, I've also got this profitability report dashboard. So this can help me understand what contracts, what types of service that I'm providing actually drive that bottom line, and also help me identify potential areas of upselling or improving the offering that we have to our existing customer base through white space reporting and things like that. That's one of the main key benefits we see from having a fully integrated system. The other one is the kind of single pane of glass view and the easy communication that you can have across your departments. So I did have an example ticket here that I wanted to show you.
Yeah.
So for example, this customer has reached out and has contacted the support desk. They said they've had an issue with shared drive access. You see the technician, myself in this case, has worked through this ticket, and they've said, oh, we found the issue in question, but just a heads up, your file server is still running an old version of Windows. Would you want to upgrade this? They've come back to ask about next steps. And we've suggested a server migration project, either upgrading on-prem or moving to a cloud-based solution. They've come back and said, yes, they would like to hear a proposal, get some more information about that. So myself as a service desk technician, I don't have to go into my teams. I don't have to start an email train with the sales team. At the click of a button, I can instantly create a ticket. I can say this is a server migration project. I can assign it directly to the sales team, and I can give some further detail about the extent of the sale so they can reach out to the customer directly themselves. So within a few seconds, I've created this opportunity. It is now linked to the original request, so the customer is still able to track that request and its progress. And we can kind of eliminate those back and forths over teams and those long email chains and keep everything consolidated within the same system.
I mean, you got a beautiful interface on this platform.
Yeah, absolutely. It's some of the key feedback we get is a lot quicker and I'd say more intuitive than a lot of the other products out there. There's no clicking around 5 different windows to find what you're looking for. Everything is displayed to you directly. There are links to all of the different entities linked to this ticket, etc. So yeah, very proud of this new interface. Cool. So yeah, just thought I would demonstrate to you the ease of use and the ease of communication between the various teams that you might have using HaloPSA. The next thing that I wanted to demonstrate to you was the AI-powered statement of work generation that we implemented probably about 6 months ago now. So like I mentioned previously, this was introduced off the back of a project I was working on with a MSP out in America. It came about because they were complaining about the amount of time it takes them to scope projects and to generate statements of work. They were basically working out of shared Word documents. So it wasn't the most efficient or easy to manage process at the time. So we kind of bounced some ideas around internally, and we came up with a suggestion to have AI build at least a templated statement of work that they could then use as a baseline, and have full shared access to that document within the Halo platform so that their team members could have input and amend it as needed. So to show you how that works at a high level, I have this ticket that I already generated earlier today. So this is a quote for a server migration project. I've gone through the qualification stage and I have raised a quote against this opportunity. You'll see that quote linked in the top right here. it has a few line items here. So you'll see I've got my server migration projects, my installation, and maybe some hypercare as well. And against each one of these items, we have a templated statement of work. So this one is specific to the server migration. We have other ones for the installation. We have other ones for implementing new managed services, which allows you to just one time create a very generic statement of work template against each one of these items that can then be used to consolidate that SOW later down the road. So how this works against this specific opportunity is I have this option to generate SOW. I can then select the quote that I want to generate that SOW from. And then something I'll also mention later on in the webinar is the project task creation method. So we can also utilize AI to generate the project once that's this quote's been confirmed as well. So hitting save on that, what it's done in the background is it's taken all of my various templates for the line items that appear on this quote. It's then sent it over to AI to consolidate that, and we can use fully customizable prompts and instructions for the AI to tell it exactly how to operate. And it has consolidated that into a single statement of work and printed that against my opportunity ticket. If I go into the quote tab here, I also have the ability to manually update this statement of work into full screen view. You'll see it a bit easily. But I can go in and make any amendments that I need. I can bring in other members of the team, create pre-sales tickets, have different departments have their input on the statement of work before I then go and send that off to the customer. So I guess the outcome of this is a process that was previously taking pre-sales teams and sales personnel hours to complete, can now be ready in a matter of minutes. We can provide a baseline statement of work that can be amended as needed without having to work from shared Word documents or go back and forth over email.
Simon wants to know, what version is this of Halo? Is it a future release, or are you using a current version?
So this is the current beta version of Halo. So this is version 2.196. So it is available for those of our customers that are on the beta release. It will become available to customers on the stable release at the end of Q3. All of the functionality that I'm showing you today should be available on the current stable.
Perfect. And just so you know, sometimes you get like a little quiet with your voice, and then Zoom starts to filter you out.
Got it. I will try and shout a little bit more then. Thanks, Steve.
And then Nicholas wants to know, what's the benefit of using opportunities versus having a normal ticket in a sales board? Like, do we get the ability to create a different behavior in this area?
So an opportunity ticket is essentially just a ticket. There are a few key differences. So you have the ability to log opportunity tickets against contacts that are not already in the system. So if you're working with a brand new customer that you've never dealt with before, their information might not be available in your Halo. You can log that opportunity ticket against them. It just inputs manually some contact information. So there are a few key differences, but it is possible, and I have seen people just use standard tickets in the place of opportunities as well.
Cool.
I see Benny has asked if this SOW can have a cover page. So yes, it can. That would form part of the overall proposal, which I'll show you guys in just a second. But this is intended more as the actual SOW document that you would be editing. The actual formatting will come later, and I'll show you exactly how that works.
Cool.
So yeah,
I guess some AI. Want some AI, man. Like,
I'm getting
I feel maybe I just need more of this, but I feel like I'm jonesing for my AI fix.
Yeah, don't worry. I can get that to you, Steve. Don't worry. Nice.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm very bullish on AI. I'm I I don't think it's perfect yet. I don't know that it'll ever be perfect, but I think it's already doing some cool things to help.
Absolutely. I think it's a really exciting time. I think the way that Halo's tried to develop AI is a bit more cautious. We've tried to identify areas where we actually think is going to be beneficial to our customers, rather than going all in and just saying we could do this, we could do that, and throwing it into the system. I think we've tried to be smart in the way we've implemented it, but it's a great opportunity. Because I don't think anyone fully understands the capabilities yet. So it's an exciting time, definitely. To try and
Yeah.
identify those.
Same over here. We've not launched any AI stuff, but like as we explore it, especially I mean, I'm sure it's the same with, everything that you guys are doing with AI, but like one of our big concerns is we want to do whatever it takes to like give the AI some like serious guardrails, because if we say like you're only allowed to do these couple of things, then the hope, fingers crossed, is that there's like fewer hallucinations and it's just able to like do what you asked it to do.
Yeah.
I assume you guys have a similar approach. You don't want to push out something that MSPs are going to be like, this is bullcrap. Why would I use this?
Yeah, definitely. I think also making sure that the data the AI is working with is good data, because
Mhm.
obviously bad data in is bad data out. So making sure that what we expose to the AI is actually valuable and can
Right,
help our
right.
customers. Cool.
All right. So Tony's Tire Emporium.
Tony's tires. So I wanted to also show you the kind of third element that I think sets Halo apart in this quote to cash process. And that is the enhanced client experience that we can offer via our inbuilt self-service portal. So again, this functionality is included in Halo as standard. And what this offers you is a completely customizable client-facing portal that clients can use to log issues, to see their existing tickets. We can build customized forms for the various services and products that you offer. We can also expose quotations, which I'll show you in a second, as well as invoices and assets. And the appearance of this is also fully customizable again. And we can even give your customers a white glove experience as they access the portal. So they'd see their own logo in the top left there. They'll see their own branding, and that can be different across every customer that you've got working out at Halo. So the reason why I wanted to show you this is it ties into the quotation process that we've been talking about. So you'll see here for Tony's Tires, I have my server migration project ready to go. Tony would be sent an email. He would receive a link directly to this quote. He can also log into the portal and see any existing or historical quotes that are available within the Halo system and assigned to him. And we also have a fully inbuilt sign-off procedure that is legally binding, as well as co-signing functionality as well. So how this ties into the auto-generated statement of work is if I expand this proposal detail section in here, you'll see that the template that I had written to my opportunity ticket has been automatically pulled into the quotation and is displayed within this PDF so that Tony can access it and evaluate the statement of work before he moves on with the deal. And this ties back to, I think this was Benny's question from earlier. This is where we would display any cover pages, any additional details, terms of conditions, customer testimonial can also be surfaced on this page as well. We use HTML to kind of build these quote templates, and you can essentially display whatever you want from this page if you need to.
Beautiful.
So moving on with the process, I can impersonate Tony. I can fill in this approval message. I can sign off the quote and hit submit. This will automatically feed back into my opportunity ticket. It will notify my sales representative that the quote has been approved. It can also feed back into the service ticket that maybe this opportunity has originated from, so everyone's aware that we're ready to move on with this proposal.
Is anybody else shocked at like how smooth and fantastic that generic signature looks? You just squiggled that with your mouse, right?
I've done this demonstration countless times. It's second nature to me now.
Man, like I
Sweet.
wish I could make a signature look that good with a mouse.
Appreciate that. Cool. So yeah, just to kind of emphasize to you guys that all of this is included as part of the package. We can we would say that the self-service portal is probably one of our biggest selling points, and it's the biggest area of feedback that we get back from our customers. That has vastly improved the experience that they can offer to their partners. And it makes your business very, very sticky if you're moving from an MSP that offers this fully interactive customer portal where I can click in and view my existing tickets, have conversations within the portal and see and surface reports and dashboards and things like that. It makes me very unwilling to want to leave that for maybe a rival MSP that doesn't have that offering. So yeah, one of the key kind of points I wanted to emphasize, and it's one of the key advantages we see with the platform.
Excellent.
Cool. And we're getting into AI, Steve. Don't get too
All
excited.
right. Now, while we're moving along, I have one more question I'm gonna pose to everybody. What's the biggest challenge with your current process that you guys are experiencing? I only gave you guys 4 options. If it's a different option, like pop it in the chat. I was thinking, manual proposal creation, project tracking, integration issues. There shouldn't be any of those. They've got, what'd you say, 250 integrations?
That's
Yeah.
right.
And then payment collection, which, I mean, obviously I'm foaming at the mouth. I'm waiting for someone to say that's the problem. Let's go, guys. Let's got one.
You got one, nice.
So I see a lot of people saying manual proposal creation. So you said AI is coming. I think if we can see how to AI generate some quotes, give me like a 2-minute quote.
Yeah. So I guess to give us kind of a recap of what we've gone through so far. So we've generated this opportunity ticket. We've gone through the generation of our statements of work. We've generated our quotation with the various projects and line items associated with that, and we've displayed that on our end user portal, and the customer is now approved. So we're at the point of having an accepted proposal. What I wanted to show you now is how AI can help us in the actual delivery of that proposal. So I've got this project, this new quotation that I prepared earlier for a new managed service for Tony's Tires. So that has a quotation attached to it that's already been approved by Tony. It's got a recurring charge for our MSA, and it's also got a project to actually implement this new managed service client. So against that, I've already followed the process that we've been through previously. I've generated our statement of work, added it into the PDF, and the client has approved it. And that has then flowed through into this sales order that has been created off the back of our accepted quote. So yeah, Richard's flagged the Halo does great with projects linked to SO and Ops. So yeah, again, getting into the really integrated element of Halo is that we can track this whole process from start to finish. So I can go from the sales order back into the quotation that it was generated from, back into the opportunity, back into the service desk ticket where the original request was made. So these are all clickable links. You don't have to back out of the page and go back in to find what you're looking for. Everything's linked and it's super easy to track and report on. So yeah, thank you, Rich, for flagging that. So we've got our SOW already generated. We've got our sales order ready to go. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and actually create the project for this implement new managed service line item. So what this is going to do is it's going to take my statement of work alongside a really detailed prompt that I've pre-configured and is also customizable, which is essentially telling the AI to take the statement of work and intuitively design a project around that. So create tasks, assign milestones, assign start dates and target dates for those, just so we can automatically create the project without any PMs having to manually create tasks and assign them to the correct people. So again, this was implemented as part of the project that I worked with. They wanted to reduce the time that their PMs were spending designing these projects. They had a lot of projects that they were working that weren't consistent between deliveries. So they couldn't really use templated projects or anything like that to speed up this process at all. So they wanted to use AI and use it intuitively to kind of form the projects on an ad hoc basis. So massive time saver, whereas it may have taken hours for the project manager to flesh out this project and sign all the tasks. We have AI doing all of that automatically. So I'm kind of building up to the climax here, and I'm really
Halo
hoping this
notifications
works.
and runbooks enable you to do almost anything, but you need a reasonable dev or thinking like a dev.
Um,
ChatGPT thinks like a dev.
it does think like a dev. So yeah, you're right, Richard, to raise runbooks here. So this is what a lot of this functionality is based on is Halo's runbooks,
Mhm.
which are essentially automation processes that we can use to, like Richard says, do anything in the system. So the way we've tried to design it is as codeless as possible. You do need a bit of knowledge of JSON and the Halo API, so there is a bit of time investment there. But yeah, there is essentially once you've got an understanding of that, the sky is the limit in terms of what you can achieve. Cool. So as I was talking there, we've gone ahead and we've got a fully fleshed project. So literally in the 30 seconds that I was talking, AI has taken my statement of work, it's split that out into various tasks, and it's created those tasks and assigned them to the project in question. So we have all of these tasks created. We can build on the prompt to ensure that it provides start dates and target dates for that. I think I might have neglected that in my setup, but that is also possible. And we can also assign it to various milestones as well. And we can kind of use this in conjunction with other Halo functionality to automatically assign agents. So we have the concept of qualification matching, which says that if this particular task requires a level of knowledge that maybe not everyone has, we can say these 4 agents are qualified to deal with this task and therefore automatically assign it to one of those agents on a load balance or a round robin basis. So what I wanted to give you today was kind of the idea of how this can work, but this is really just scratching the surface in terms of what we can achieve here.
Are we able to do start and end dates and milestones using the AI?
Yeah, you can, Richard. What I will do is, I'm sure Steve can send over your email address after this call, and for anyone else who's interested as well, I can send over the exact prompt that you would need to generate those start and end dates. I've got working on another
And
system.
I don't know what your availability is, Alex, but if you're able to, maybe we can stay after for a few minutes for some Q&A, even if we go over. And if anyone here desperately has questions or wants you to show them something, we could do that.
I do have a call at the top of
Okay.
the hour, but I'll do my best to get through this quickly so we can, yeah, leave enough time
I
for Q&A
tried.
at the end.
But I'll make sure you guys have Alex's contact info when I send out tomorrow's follow-up email, just so you know when it's coming.
Sweet. So Matthew has asked, can you apply a standard template after an AI project is created? And will that come out at the end of Q3 as well? So yes, we can use this in combination with standard templates. So we can maybe use a standard template as a baseline and use AI to flesh out this project a bit further if we need to. Just to clarify, all of this functionality is available within stable right now. So none of this you'll need to wait until Q3 for.
Awesome. You can do it now.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, that is the AI element, and we've got some really great feedback on this. So like I said, it's saving hours of project management time in building these projects. And like I said, this is really just scratching the surface in terms of what we can achieve. So the runbooks that Richard and Benny mentioned give us a really kind of customizable way to generate these automations and have it working exactly as you guys need it to.
Perfect. So we've shown them how to do the project with AI. Have we shown them how to do anything quote related with AI?
So that was the kind of statement of work generation. So that
Got it. Okay.
That also has an AI element involved, and again, that's customizable in terms of what we want
And
the
see,
AI
for me, it's
to do
just
with it.
terminology. Now that I realize statement of work is what you guys are calling quotes, now I won't ask that dumb question again. Nicholas wants to know, what is the AI integration that Halo recommends? So that's a good question. Do you guys do you already have the AI built in, or do we need to integrate our own OpenAI API or something like that?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we do have a default Halo connection that you can use free of charge. So that's available to everyone. That is using OpenAI. We have limited the functionality slightly with that free connection. So if you did want to fully utilize what's available in the system, I would recommend having your own deployment of AI. And what we usually recommend for that is Azure OpenAI, because that gives you some added security to ensure your customers' data isn't open to the web, not the
That
web, to the
seems
AI.
perfectly reasonable. And just out of my own curiosity, what types of limitations have you guys put on it? Is it simply like you don't want us asking it silly questions using up all your tokens?
Pretty much, yeah. So we put limitations in terms of you can't use it for integration runbooks, the default Halo connection, the free connection. We can use it for some of the standard inbuilt processes that we've got, so ticket matching, Sankey detection, things like that. But yeah, some of the more niche elements you would require your own deployment for.
That seems reasonable. Could you integrate it with Anthropic Claude instead of OpenAI?
So right now in terms of the inbuilt functionality, we're limited to OpenAI and Azure OpenAI. There is coming in the next couple of quarters the ability to integrate with some other vendors on the market. But with the runbooks, you can actually build your own custom integrations with whatever AI you choose.
Right.
But again, that just needs a bit of background knowledge over.
And then do you guys have a guide to set the Azure OpenAI up today? And then it says, he asked, with a preset data set.
Yes, we do. Steve, I will get that sent over to you, and maybe we can put that as part of the follow-up email.
Sure.
Cool. Nice. So I want to get on with the last element that I wanted to talk about, so we can kind of have some Q&A. But I wanted to emphasize the functionality and the ease of use with the HaloPSA and the alternative payments integration. So as I mentioned, Halo also has billing functionality, but what we can't do is handle payments directly from customers. So for that reason, we've worked very closely with Steve and the team over the last few years, and we've built what we think is a very kind of fleshed out integration. And we've been getting some great feedback on that. So the way this works is I have the sales order here, for example, and maybe I want to now bill the client for 50% of the project that I'm about to deliver. So I've created a down payment invoice for this project. So you'll see 50% has now been invoiced. The way you do that is just hitting create invoice at the top of the screen here. And you've got all of these various options as to exactly how you want to generate this invoice, whether it be for the entire order or a certain percentage, or just for particular lines on that order. And what that will do is go ahead and create your invoice for you. So I've got my implement new managed service line here for 10% of the overall project cost. Sorry, not 10%, 50%. And with our integration with alternative payments, we can manage the actual payments for that invoice from the alternative payments portal. So you'll see that invoice is available within the alternative payment system. The due dates and the status, the customer, and then the creation date have all been synced over. We've got the ability to send that invoice from here. It won't let me because I don't have the user associated. And we can also use AP to manage to receive those payments and have those automatically sync back into Halo. So as that payment is received, we have a payments tab available against the invoice in question where you can track payments received against it. It will also give you a date where the full payment has been received. We also have due dates against which we can set automated follow-ups and reminder emails. But with alternative payments, kind of auto pay and auto charge functionality, those reminder emails should be less because we can kind of receive those payments straight away as soon as the invoice gets generated. So exactly. So yeah, the payments can feed in back into Halo. We can then sync that with our accounting packages, whether that be QuickBooks or Xero for some of our European customers. And yeah, we can have everything available across all of the systems in question and make it really easy for your various team members to keep up to date over the payment status of those invoices.
And Alex, were you able to get I should have asked you this before we launched. Were you able to get the integration all functioning?
Yeah, so I managed to sync over the invoice here. I'm not sure if I'm able to receive a payment on that because I don't think
no,
it's
that's okay. The only thing I was going to ask you is if you could hop into impersonating a client in your client portal, so that way they can see what the invoice looks like for the client. Because one of the things that we wanted to do to make it really easy for MSPs to get their money, what's the saying? It's my money and I want it now. I don't think that's MSP related. Americans will get that one. So we have it. So in the client portal, when there's an invoice to pay, and it's been synced over to alternative payments, the client can log into the portal, see the invoice, and then next to the invoice is a Pay Now button. And when they click on that, it'll take them right to the screen where they can sign in and pay. So the cool thing about signing in and paying is that part is optional. The signing in part. Paying is probably mandatory for most of you. So how that works is you can do, as the customer, they can do guest checkout, which it still links it to, their invoice, to their customer account in your accounting package. The only difference is because they're not authenticated, it's not going to let them use any of the payment information that might be stored on file. So if they're mobile and they're like, I've got my, my business card, I just want to pay this real quick, they can do that signing in as a guest. If they absolutely need to use the information that's on file, then they need to sign in. If a down payment has been paid with alternative payments, will that down payment be bound to the invoice and or project invoice in Halo? That's a really good question. We are starting to get into doing partial payments. I think we're starting to get into doing partial payments. So I don't have an answer to that right now, but I am happy to get an answer for you. Alex, I assume if somebody were to do a partial payment, your system can manage that just fine.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we can handle partial payments. We can display them as separate kind of records against the invoice, so you know exactly what's been paid and when.
Yeah. So, not working on your end? Not a big deal.
I'm having a few technical issues here, but
All
apologize.
good. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a little switcheroo here. It won't let me sign up for a demo. Oh, not available. Yeah. So alternative payments. I'm sorry, guys. Right now we're US only. Um, other areas are coming soon, but they're just not ready yet. Um, sorry. I know that's a bummer. So here is my screen. I want to show you how simple this platform really is. It's so simple. We don't have a lot of like settings for you to customize, because what we found is when we build out a platform that just kind of does it all for you, there's not really much customization that you need. Okay. So, what exactly do I mean by that? Let's say you've got QuickBooks Online and HaloPSA integrated with your alternative payments system. It could be Xero, NetSuite, but it has to be HaloPSA because this is a joint webinar with Halo. So you're not allowed to use anything else. What we do? Uh, so, so with
I
that
didn't hear
said,
that.
yeah, there was nothing to hear, nothing to hear. But with that said, like, if I were to come here and I go to preferences, like the only option is, do you want us to create the deposit or not? So how our platform works is the invoice syncs into our platform and it's here. Okay. So here's all the invoices. And some of them are paid, some of them are archived, whatever, right? So let's go to overdue. So these are invoices that have not yet been paid. So I could simply hit the send button and manually send that. But why would I want to do that? I want to go to automations and email notifications, and I want to set this up to automatically email people at a certain frequency. I don't recommend this frequency. This is overkill. Me just playing around. But how it works is it'll automatically email people to whatever reminder schedule you set. You can also send invoice summaries. These are the same as QuickBooks. What do you call those? When you list a statement, I think they call it. When you list out like all the outstanding invoices, it's the same as one of those. We can even hit the view template button here. Here's what it looks like. And then if you hit see all invoices, it would take the customer to sign in to their dashboard. Richard, we will absolutely reach out when this hits the US, or I'm sorry, UK. Are there any plans for the likes of direct debits for recurring costs? Is that a Halo question or an alternative payments question? So moving on. So the invoice reminders, great. Then we have auto pay rules. So with HaloPSA, we can have a rule that is either customer specific, global, or based on tags. And let's say we want to do this days before due 0. So just on the due date, right? I could come here and I could say this is a HaloPSA contract, and it is my managed, all managed agreement types can be set up to automatically get paid. It'll use whatever default payment method the customer has on file. It'll tell you if there are any invoices affected before you apply this, which I think is fantastic before you make any grave errors. You hit create rule, and now the rule exists. So you can have all kinds of rules here. You see, I've got less than 50,000, less than 10,000. So you can have specific customer rules. Maybe one doesn't want to pay anything automatically unless it's over $100. That's weird, but okay. You can also exclude customers. Maybe you've got a customer that just really doesn't want to pay you through your payment portal. I get it. It happens. We can't expect 100% adoption, but we can sure try. Under activity, you can see like, here's all your payouts. Look, all one of my imaginary payouts. And then you can see, look, all my failed transactions for my imaginary payouts. There is here on this section, this is where I wanted to be. So you can see, like, here's how much is available for payout. Here's my payout timing. So like standard payout is if you get paid today on Tuesday, you get your money on Friday. We also have the ability for you to get your money tomorrow if you want it sooner. Extras are extra. It's not astronomical. It's no different than what Stripe charges if you want your money right away. Let's see here. Payout details. So you can see total payments, the payout fees, processing fees, if you've done any refunds or chargebacks, and it'll show where the payment is. What are the platform fees? So our platform fees, I'll get to in a moment, I promise. The other thing I want to show you in here is we, as of right now, are the only platform that gives you the ability to refund a payment. Let me see if I can remember how to do that. Transactions, payments, see details, refund payment, and we can choose the reason. This one was fraud. That's a good reason. Apply refund. And there you go. You just refunded a customer and you didn't have to reach out to customer support. Yes, I will send out the recording tomorrow afternoon around 12 o'clock US Eastern. So yes, you will absolutely get a copy of the recording. And I will also summarize some of the topics we talked about. I'm also going to work with Alex to make sure we get as many of these questions answered. So we talked about the fact that you'll get paid automatically. We talked about the fact that we'll send out reminders automatically. This here is, I'm going to call this custom invoice. So up here, I can literally, I've got my payment link, which is this here, rocket.demo.alternativepayments.io. Okay. And if I just add a /custom invoice / the amount, so let's say it's a $50,000 invoice. I put an extra 2 zeros for the cents. There we go. Now we've got a $50,000 invoice. So let's say you just need somebody to pay you something real quick. We now give you the ability to even do that. And you can figure out linking it to an invoice to a customer later if you need to get paid right away. This was an excellent workaround for people who were sending out quotes and getting those quotes signed and approved and then paid right away. But if you're using Halo's quoting platform, you can get paid right away using the customer portal. All right. So what else does alternative payments do? That's the $1 million question, right? So the last thing I'll tell you is we automate everything that we can. So sending the invoice reminders, we can auto pay the payments. So your customers can sign up for auto pay. They'll just pay the invoice. We can create the payment in your accounting package. I'm going to say QuickBooks because I know a lot of you are using QuickBooks or Xero or whatever. They're all the same functionality though. We'll create the payment. We'll link that payment to the appropriate invoicing customer and we'll mark it paid in QuickBooks and in Halo. And then when we deposit those funds into your bank, we'll create the deposit in QuickBooks. So that way, when you download that bank feed, it will automatically sync up and you just check the match button and you're done. So like I said, we've done what we can to automate as much as we possibly can, which is why you're not going to see a lot of like configuration settings. The only other thing that I did not show you is the ability very easily to decide how you want to handle fees. So let me show you that real quick. So if we come in here to team preferences, customization, no, yeah, maybe pass credit card fees to customers. So let's say you've got a customer that pays with a Visa. We charge 2.9% for Visa, MasterCard, Discover, 3.5% for American Express. Again, these are the US fees. I have no idea what the fees will be for other countries. We're not there yet. If we're there yet, I'm not informed. 2.9% for a Visa. So we can pass those fees to the customer legally, and then you get a deposit of the full amount. We get the payment of the fee. The customer pays the full amount. So if it's a $10,000 invoice and the fees are what, $219 or whatever, we get the $219, you get the $10,000, your invoice is marked paid, you get the full deposit, and the customer pays everything, and they're none the wiser of who gets what and where it goes. If you decide to pay the fees yourself, absorb the fees, then the customer just pays the $10,000 invoice, and then we deposit the, I don't know, $9,709 or whatever so we give you the difference. We collect the fees from the top and we deposit the remainder. And then we also account for that in the payments and deposits. So that way everything is tracked accordingly in accounting. There's no fees for ACH. So if you can convince your clients to all do ACH and stop trying to get credit card reward points, then nobody pays any extra money and everyone's happy. Hopefully that answered your question, Matthew. Alex, what do you think, man?
I had a great time, Steve. It's been fun.
Good. I had a great time too. I know you've got to bounce, so I've got a list of questions. I'm going to email this over to you, Alex, so that way you can send me over some responses, and I can include that in the email that goes out tomorrow. So guys, if you want to reach out to Alex, your email address, do you have a slide or anything, Alex?
Yeah, I can drop my email address into the chat.
Okay. He'll drop his email in the chat. Perfect. And then I can stick around for a couple more minutes if anyone has questions about the alternative payment side. Happy to answer those questions for you. I have one last poll to do for those of you that can stick around. They're simple questions. Are you a current customer of either of our companies? Are you interested in being a customer if you're not? And what country are you in? Simple. So for clarity, is the deposit that comes back to the accounting package the full amount of the deposit, or is it for each invoice? So a $20,000 deposit consists of invoice number 1, 2, yes. So we do batch deposits, but we will match all of the invoices, all of the payments, invoices, whatever you want to call it, in the accounting system appropriately. So that way everything is accounted for in that batch deposit. You'll have full visibility in our dashboard for how that looks. And then again, it's all just linked up in your accounting package.
I'm going to get going, Steve. Look, really
no problem, man.
Your time and everyone here. Reach out if there's any questions that you guys have. And yeah, thank you.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much, Alex. I really appreciate you. I can't wait to do this again with you. We'll find a way to talk about something else cool that Halo does. There's plenty. So kudos for having such an awesome software, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you guys too. It's better with alternative payments, definitely.
Thanks, Alex. Take care. Does anyone have any other questions before I let you guys all bounce out of here? All right. That's that. Thank you so much, everybody. Like I said, you'll get an email tomorrow afternoon, around 12 o'clock US Eastern, with a copy of the full recording. We'll have it up on the Alternative Payments YouTube page, so you'll be able to watch it as much as you want with all of Google's ads that you can stand. And happy to answer any questions you have if you guys want to respond to tomorrow's email, whatever you need. One last thing, we're going to send out a survey. If you respond to the survey, just tell us how we did in today's webinar. You'll have a chance to win a $250 Amazon gift card. No strings attached. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.